Eyes are on the second arrest warrant for President Yoon on charges of rebellion. An uphill battle is expected for the second attempt to detain the defiant leader. The flight data recorder of the ill-fated Jeju Air plane has been sent to the U.S. for decoding as part of the investigation into finding out what caused the fatal crash late last month. The world's most influential tech show is set to kick off in Las Vegas. From generative AI to highly sophisticated and personalized technology, we take a peek at what to look forward to this year. It's January 7th, 8 p.m. in Seoul. This is Newscenter. Thank you for joining us. I'm Yoon Jung-min. We have just learned that a local court has given the Corruption Investigation Office and the police the green light to attempt to arrest the president for the second time. Our Choi Min-jung is on the line for more. Min-jung, this comes after the investigation team's first attempt failed.
Right, Jung-min, a second arrest warrant for President Yoon has now been issued. The Seoul Western District Court approved it at around 7:20 on Tuesday evening, and this comes just a day after the joint investigation team refiled for an arrest warrant after the first expired on Monday. The chief of the Corruption Investigation Office for high-ranking officials said earlier today that the agency would treat the second attempt as the final chance. Let's take a listen.
With the determination that the second warrant execution will be the final one, the CIO will do its best and prepare thoroughly and meticulously to ensure the objective is achieved.
Now, how are they preparing for this second arrest, given that they had difficulties last time and perhaps an even tougher attempt this time?
Well, a CIO official said they began preparing with the police earlier today, and given the strong resistance from the Presidential Security Service during the first arrest attempt last week and the tightened security measures at the presidential residence in Hannam-dong with the installation of barbed wire, the investigation team appears likely to increase the number of personnel in the second attempt. And the police have also warned that they are considering arresting Presidential Security Service personnel as offenders if they attempt to disrupt the second execution as well. Unlike the first attempt, the validity or the specific duration of Yoon's arrest warrant was not disclosed this time around to enhance the confidentiality of the investigation, but it's likely to be at least 7 days. That's all I have for now. Back to you, Jung-min.
All right, thanks, Min-jung, for the updates. President Yoon's formal impeachment hearing at the Constitutional Court is just a week away. With that, the National Assembly's legal representatives and the president's team have engaged in a war of words, particularly over the issue of withdrawing the insurrection charge. Our political correspondent Shin Ha-young has this report.
Tension is growing between the National Assembly and Yoon's team over the removal of insurrection charges on the docket for the president's impeachment trial. As President Yoon first formal impeachment hearing is scheduled for a week from now, both the National Assembly's impeachment committee and Yoon's legal team have escalated their arguments, especially over the removal of the insurrection charge. This follows the Assembly's statement last week at the second preparatory hearing that it would no longer contest whether the martial law declaration constitutes insurrection under criminal law, aiming to focus the proceedings on whether Yoon violated the Constitution to speed up the trial. The president's side and the ruling party have criticized the removal, arguing that the Assembly should hold a new vote on the impeachment motion. Yoon's legal team said in a written statement on Tuesday that the impeachment should be dismissed, citing that withdrawing the insurrection charge in the impeachment motion isn't just removing one of two charges, it removes 80% of the impeachment resolution. On the same day, the National Assembly's legal team refuted the controversy, reaffirming its plan to frame Yoon's insurrection as a constitutional violation in line with the nature of the impeachment trial and to seek a ruling.
The key in the grounds for impeachment is constitutional disruption by the chief conspirator of insurrection, and it has remained unchanged throughout the preparation process. We urge the court to review it in full.
Regarding the call for a new vote on the impeachment motion due to the removal of the insurrection charge, the Assembly's legal representative stated that this was unnecessary since the grounds for impeachment haven't changed. The Constitutional Court has said that modifying the impeachment charges is not covered by explicit provisions and that the matter is for the bench to decide. Meanwhile, after holding 2 preparatory hearings, the court decided to hold hearings twice a week, every Tuesday and Thursday, starting January 14th, excluding the Lunar New Year holiday of 설날. 신하영, Arirang News.
A pre-trial hearing will take place next Monday afternoon, January 13th, at the Constitutional Court ahead of an impeachment trial against Prime Minister Han Duck-soo. His trial comes as the opposition-led parliament last month voted in favor of an impeachment motion against him after he called for a bipartisan agreement on the candidates to fill the earlier vacancies at the Constitutional Court. The ruling party, for its part, has since filed an injunction against the parliamentary vote, which was passed with a simple majority, as opposed to the party's arguments that a 2/3 majority is needed, as Han was an acting president at the time of the vote. Shifting gears, South Korea has cast doubt on North Korea's claims of tangible advancements in its missile technology, following a test launch earlier on Monday. Our correspondent Kim Jong-sil explains.
North Korea has claimed that Monday's missile reached speeds of Mach 12 and traveled 1,500 kilometers before hitting a target in the open sea. However, South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff has questioned these claims, citing inconsistencies in the reported flight path and performance.
We believe North Korea's claims about the missile's flight distance and second apex altitude are likely exaggerated.
Colonel Lee added that North Korea is known for relying on propaganda and occasionally exaggerating its claims in official announcements. The JCS assessed that the missile flew around 1,100 kilometers without reaching a second apex. A second apex is a key characteristic often seen in hypersonic missiles. He added that the test appears to be in line with a hypersonic missile test conducted by the regime last April. The Ministry of Unification noted that this marks North Korea's 6th hypersonic missile test since 2021. A senior official suggested that Pyongyang's intent may be to assert its presence to the U.S. ahead of Donald Trump's inauguration in 2 weeks. The official also confirmed that Seoul is closely monitoring North Korea's Yongbyon nuclear facility following reports of possible reactivation. Earlier, state media reported that Kim Jong-un and his daughter Choi observed Monday's launch remotely, framing it as evidence of the regime's growing weapons capabilities. Kim stated that the goal is to position weapon systems that no one can counter as the core of the regime's strategic deterrence while strengthening its nuclear war deterrence. While Pyongyang insists its missile tests are defensive, Seoul has condemned them as destabilizing. Analysts say the launch signals North Korea's ability to strike U.S. territories like Guam while deliberately limiting the missile's range to manage tensions. Kim Jong-sil, Arirang News.
Turning to the recent tragic air crash at Busan International Airport. The flight data recorder of the ill-fated airplane has been sent to the U.S. for data extraction, with hopes of speeding up the analysis process and finding out what led to the accident that killed almost everyone on board. In the meantime, the Korean government has vowed to establish a committee to assist those victims' families. An Song-jin has the latest.
A key piece of evidence from the Jeju airplane crash last month, the flight data recorder, has been sent to the U.S. for decoding. An aircraft's black box is made up of the FDR, the flight data recorder, and the cockpit voice recorder, or CVR. While the CVR was retrieved, the outer part of the FDR was found partially damaged, and crucially, its connector. With difficulties extracting data in Korea, the FDR has been sent to the U.S. National Transportation Safety Board for analysis. Though the decoding process alone is usually said to take months, considering the importance, investigators have agreed to give it priority and should take around a week. With the CVR already converted into audio files from the initial data extracted from the black box, Once the FDR is decoded, the entire process of reconstructing the last minutes before the crash will be possible. Other parts of the plane are also going through thorough investigative analysis, including the two engines and the landing gear, which are suspected to have malfunctioned on the day. As the investigative process continues, the reopening of Muwon International Airport has been pushed back another week till next week Tuesday. The Jeju Airplane Crash Committee, consisting of the victims' families, is looking to hold a joint memorial service at the airport on the 18th. They will be holding a meeting this Saturday to further discuss the exact schedule and response measures. The government on Tuesday pledged to create a victim support group with acting President Choi Sang-mok discussing relief methods, including postponing loan payments. Lawmakers have also agreed to establish a National Assembly Special Committee. Composed of 15 lawmakers, including 7 from the ruling party and 7 from the main opposition party, the committee will further discuss ways to support victims' families. An Sung-jin, Arirang News.
Acting President Choi Sang-mok presided over his first cabinet meeting of the new year, underscoring the need for stability and solidarity amid the somber political circumstances and the presence of economic headwinds. Kim Do-yeon reports.
At the first cabinet meeting of 2025 on Tuesday, Acting President and Deputy Prime Minister for Finance, Choi Sang-mok emphasized a fast recovery for the nation's economy to all participants. He said all government resources need to be focused on reviving the economy as it has been hit even harder by the political situation.
Above all, speed is crucial. All ministries should immediately commence budget execution for projects essential to revitalizing the livelihood economy. Additionally, please implement measures to boost domestic demand, including consumption, construction, and tourism, as well as regional economies, with a strong sense of urgency.
He also noted the need to maintain growth in exports, which are the pillar of the nation's economy, requesting the ministries for industry and SMEs to work with businesses. Choi laid out his plans for briefings to him by each ministry. He said this year's briefings need to be different from routine ones when it comes to their urgency, solutions, and pace of execution. In other words, instead of briefing what they're going to do, the ministries need to lay out solutions to current problems. Choi also emphasized the need for government to be prepared for the new U.S. administration.
Our businesses are deeply concerned about external credibility and any shifts in trade dynamics following the inauguration of the Trump administration. Through this year's ministerial briefings, we must present practical solutions to address these pressing issues and dispel such concerns effectively.
2025 is also the 80th anniversary of Korea's liberation from Japanese colonial rule. Choi emphasized that the current crisis will also be overcome as well, while stating that all public officials need to fear the public's and history's judgment and make the right choices for the country. Kim Do-yeon, Arirang News.
Over in Las Vegas, this year's Consumer Electronics Show will officially open doors to the public come Tuesday local time. Our correspondent Moon Hae-ryun shares a preview.
This is the end of the beginning. Behind me are the masses of people filing out from the opening keynote speech a day before the biggest tech event of the year. And with the speech having been given by Nvidia's Jensen Huang, it's no surprise that artificial intelligence remains a central theme at this year's CES.
Generative artificial intelligence was the central technology on display during Huang's presentation as he unveiled Nvidia's newest, fastest chip. The RTX Blackwell chips in a demonstration showed real-time graphic generation of a video game in detailed high definition. But Huang went on to discuss the endless possibilities of generative AI outside of images and sounds.
We can understand amino acids, we can understand physics. We understand them, we can translate them, and generate them.
On top of graphic generation, Huang introduced a new AI model to train robots and autonomous vehicles. AI is also expected to take a leap this year in providing more personalized experiences across a range of different appliances. An increasingly significant portion of the tech consumer pie now consists of the digitally native Generation Z, meaning that there is now a bigger drive for tech to be aligned with their values, which include sustainability.
On the other end of the spectrum, technology centered around senior care is also booming with more personalized experiences across a range of different appliances.
Yeah, and I think it's about this idea of AI integration in the next generation of consumer hardware transforms devices like Samsung smartphones with Galaxy AI or HP laptops with their companion on board, LG TVs.
And kicking off the series of press conferences a day before CES, LG Electronics showcased its vision to achieve exactly that, under the slogan, "Less artificial, more human." Demonstrations of LG's generative AI-powered solutions such as ThinkYou showed how it uses sensors to monitor user behavior and control devices around the home. It goes beyond personalization to what LG has dubbed affectionate intelligence. To create seamless AI-powered spaces, LG has partnered with international companies such as Microsoft, as well as renowned figures such as entertainer and entrepreneur will.i.am.
And this collaboration between LG and FYI can be summed up in one word, 2 syllables, abracadabra. And in Aramaic, it means I create as I speak. And it's no longer just a word, it's real.
Another South Korean tech giant, Samsung Electronics, redefined its slogan of AI for all to meet the needs of different lifestyles, such as single-person families, those with pets, and so on.
Today, I want to redefine what home means to us and introduce our roadmap for home AI. For the past 10 years, we have led innovation in the home, making your home smarter with every step forward.
The firm also addressed concerns surrounding AI and user data, claiming that its new NOC security system means that any data collected to personalize user experience can only be accessed by the user even if the server is compromised. Other than in the home, Samsung Electronics integrates AI in laptops, smartwatches, and rings, combining this year's tech trend of personalized technology coordinated across various hardware to provide an uninterrupted user experience. 문혜련, Arirang News, Las Vegas.
Elsewhere, a 6.8 magnitude earthquake hit Tibet on Tuesday morning. Reports say at least 95 people have been confirmed dead and 130 injured during the earthquake as of 3 p.m. local time. The China Earthquake Network Center said that it was the most powerful quake in 5 years in the area, where there are frequent earthquakes. The number of local residents living near the epicenter is around 6,900, and the death toll is expected to rise as rescue operations are still underway. Meanwhile, the earthquake was also detected in Nepal, India, Bangladesh, and Bhutan. In other news, a new set of Korean words have been included in the Oxford English Dictionary, as perhaps proof of the continued clout of the country's culture beyond its national borders. Lee Yoon-hee tells us what they are.
Do any of these words sound familiar? 달고나, 형, 노래방, 막내, 찌개, 떡볶이, and 판소리. These 7 Korean words were newly added to the Oxford English Dictionary in its latest update in December, according to the dictionary's website on Tuesday. The addition of these Korean words further highlights the global rise of Hallyu, the Korean wave, which was itself one of 26 words added to the dictionary in 2021. 달고나 in particular became widely known through the hit Netflix series Squid Game. 달고나 is a candy made from melted sugar, typically sold by street vendors in the form of a flat disc, with a simple shape such as a heart or star curved on its surface. Other additions include 형, meaning older brother, and 막내, which refers to the youngest person in a family or group. The dictionary provides an example of how the term is used to indicate the younger members of a K-pop group. Another addition is 노래방, a Korean term for a karaoke room where people sing songs in private. Also included is 찌개, a type of Korean stew made with broth and various ingredients like seafood, meat, or vegetables, with varieties such as 된장찌개 and kimchi찌개. The popular Korean dish 떡볶이 was also added. 떡볶이 consists of small cylindrical rice cakes cooked in a spicy gochujang sauce, typically served as a snack or street food. Lastly, pansori refers to a traditional Korean narrative musical performance by a solo singer accompanied by a drummer. Professor Jiun Kier, a professor at Oxford University and a Korean language consultant for the Oxford English Dictionary, explained to Yonhap News how K-pop and K-dramas have introduced many Korean words to English speakers. And words that are widely used, referenced, or discussed in English-speaking communities with evidence of their usage preserved in text are included in the dictionary. She highlighted how viewers of Squid Game learned that the term hyung, or older brother, is used to refer to someone who is not necessarily a blood relative. She also said that the number of Korean words added to the Oxford English Dictionary is expected to keep growing, with words like ajumma, meaning middle-aged woman, and bingsu, which is a shaved ice dessert, possibly to be on the list next year. Lee Eun-hee, Arirang News.
With cold wave advisories in place in northern parts of Gyeonggi-do province and inland areas of Gangwon-do province, the temperature will feel like it's below 0 degrees in many areas all day today. On Thursday, the morning temperature in Seoul will drop sharply to -12 degrees Celsius, which will be the strongest cold spell so far this winter. Snow has been falling mainly on the west coast of Jeollado provinces and Jeju Island. Between now and Thursday, up to 40 centimeters of heavy snow is expected in Jeollabuk-do province and up to 30 centimeters in the mountainous areas of Jeju Island. Tomorrow morning, Chuncheon will start off at -12 degrees, Busan at 0 degrees. Daily highs will move up to -2 degrees in Seoul and Chuncheon. It is possible we could have the first cold wave warning of the winter in Seoul on Thursday. That's all for Korea. Here are the weather conditions around the world. That is Newscenter for tonight. Thanks for watching. A panel session up next.